Frustrating one for you?
Yeah, most definitely was. A lot of learning experiences in 2021.
It's interesting, right? Because you're like, hey, I'm going all in on myself. I'm betting on myself, right? And then don't get the results. I mean, do you think maybe there was anything negative by doing that, or you needed to restructure something?
No, I think I'm on the right path. I think I've surrounded myself with a really good group of guys, a really good team down there in South Florida. Um, Definitely made some moves. There's been moves being made in my personal life that's going to allow me to really focus on my career. Um, and, it's just a learning process. Like I said, you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? I did. The Andre fight. I had the injury happen. 5 minutes prior to walking out, and then last fight, really no excuses. Last fight, it just came out flat, and I had a shitty performance. And sometimes it happens in sports. Sometimes you can do everything you can, but and then on fight day, it's just not. It's not all there, and it's part of the game.
Yeah. Is there anything you can do to affect that or to change that? You think? I mean, is it just some days you have bad days, or is there anything you think you can do about that?
Well, I think a little bit of it's too the environment that we were kind of put in coming here. I mean, let's be honest, it's not an ideal situation to come into fight week and then have to sit and stare at four walls and think about the fight all week, and then you come out and there's no crowd, there's no nothing. I mean, how can you really get mentally in the right mind frame for that? But now, at least we get to go out and get to enjoy Vegas and kind of get out of the hotel, get some fresh air, and get our minds off the fight and just enjoy being in the present moment. And I think that has its benefits for sure. Also. Before the last fight, Sean Shelby walked up to me and told me that the commission was taking, $5,000 out of my purse, and this is the day before the fight. So there just added stress levels to it that I really wasn't preparing to have to face. And so, it is what it is. So we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about now, and we're talking about Saturday, and we're moving forward from there.
Can I ask why they took money from you?
Yeah, it was from whenever I got re-signed to the UFC, and I ended up failing that drug test. And so, even though USADA went to bat for me and spoke to commission and explained to them that it wasn't anything like performance enhancing in the sense that that I was getting suspended for failure to disclose, and that it was prior to ever being in competition or being signed by the UFC. Apparently, the commission didn't care, so they slapped a big fat $5,000 fine on my check and just took it out. And so I didn't know that was going to happen. And like I said, Sean just walked up to me and told me, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry." So, but whatever. It's just money. Got to make more of it.
Think maybe they could have waited till after the fight to tell you?
Yeah, I mean that would have been, hey, I would have been a lot more happy about it, if I would have won. I'd been like, hey, we took $5,000 out. I would have been just like, pissed.
We'll talk about now. We talked to Jake earlier, and he said he loves this fight, man, because of your style. He knows that you're going to bring it, and it's going to be a fun fight. Do you feel the same way about the matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're similar in a lot when it comes to the game. I think we like being on our feet. We like showing our athletic skill set, and I think that we both mix it up well, and that we're both high volume strikers. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. I wondered, despite the frustrating setbacks, you guys are here on the main card, ESPN, first card of the year. Do you think that shows some faith from the organization and you that they're putting you in a spot like this?
Since I've been re-signed, I went from a co-main event to a featured bout and still on the main card. So it's time for me to do my job and make sure that I get a win in the positions that I've been placed in. You know what I mean? This is my 11th fight. I need to do a better job of capitalizing, and because they are putting me in a position to make a name for myself, and that's on me. That's on me to put on a showing.
Well, you're getting a fresh start of the year. I mean, ideally, how does this year play out for you? I mean, are you looking? Is it just about getting this win? Are you planning for the future? What do you think you do from here?
Yeah, man, all I'm thinking about is right now. I'm not even thinking about Saturday. I'm not trying to think at all. I'm just trying to be in the moment and then tap into that sense of that state of flow. You know, that's a big thing I've been talking about. And because the only thing that's been hindering me from being highly successful in the sport is what's between my two fucking ears. You know, this. You can't tell me that I'm not one of the most athletic heavyweights in the division. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that I don't have the skill set to be highly successful. You know what I mean? Because I know I do. You know what I mean? There's been times when I've had, when I got re-signed, I was coming off the couch. I didn't even, the fight was like on a week's notice. I went out there and had one of the best performances of my career, all because I was out there just trying to have fun. I didn't care about the outcome. And so when I can get out of my head and into my body and I can go out there and flow, I feel like there's very few people in the world that can handle what I bring to the table. And I say that with the most humility I can possibly say, but I'm just being honest.
Hey, Chase. What is the tattoo on your hand?
That's no quarter. No quarter was. So I'm kind of obsessed with pirates. I grew up on the Gulf Coast, and no quarter. Well, so when pirates would sail the seas, they would fly a flag, your typical black and white flag. It's called the Jolly Roger. And typically when they raised that flag, ships would, set their anchors and they would come aboard and they would loot the ships. Now for the ships that didn't, want to abide by the the pirating, they would lower the Jolly Roger and they would raise the no quarter flag. And the no quarter flag meant, burn the ships, take no prisoners, no mercy.
Awesome. You said that there were some learning experiences in 2021. I just kind of wanted to know what those were.
There's plenty of them, man. Every loss is just a learning experience. You learn so much more from the losses than you do the wins. And just learning to get out of my own way was the big one, and then if we, look at it at a different level too, the learning experiences of coming into a new gym and kind of being placed into that system and learning that whole system. The last fight I was really, I was a new fighter in Sanford, and so I was trying to get put into that system and that style of fighting that they kind of have. And now that I'm in my second camp, I've kind of adapted the things that I need to adapt while maintaining my the way that I fight in the same sense. So, all those are learning experiences.
How great is it being at Sanford and having all those big bodies for you?
It's not just the big bodies, man. It's not just the immaculate facility. It's not just the fact that, you're there in South Florida, or, on the beautiful beaches down there, great weather. But the thing that about it is that I've never been to a gym where they make you feel so much like a part of the team and a family. That it is. I've done sports my whole life and team sports, and when coming into MMA, it was somewhat of a difficult transition because it's an individual sport. You go to a lot of these gyms, and a lot of the fighters are all they care about is their careers and the things that they need to do and make sure that they have the right sparring partners, and if they have a fight coming up, and if they don't, it's kind of like well, screw you. But there, Henry and Jason and Greg have done a good job of literally building a foundation that is based around being a team. And if you don't want to be a part of that team environment, and you only want to, look after yourself, and when you have fights, then your ass is out the door. And so you just have to come down there and just kind of feel the vibes. It's amazing.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear, and I'm glad that you're in a team environment finally. And then finally, for me, I know you say you don't really want to think about anything, but like, do you feel like you're fighting for your job on Saturday?
Well, yeah, I am. I mean, it's the last fight on the contract. I mean, we all know that. So, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I don't want to sit there and harp on it, but to me, there is no other option. And when someone, what I mean, there, in a sense, I have everything to lose and nothing to lose at the same time, So, winning and losing this fight is going to really, I'm having a pivotal point in my life, win the fight, my life goes completely one direction, and then losing it goes completely the other direction. And so we're at a crossroads, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Thanks, Chase.
Yeah. Thank y'all.